A very good morning to you. How do we do that? How do we keep safe?
Good morning. Yeah, it's a tricky day and a tricky month for all of that at the moment. So I think to protect ourselves, it's really just to make sure that we don't get overwhelmed with emotion when we're shopping online. Obviously, the buzz and the endorphins to go and quickly get a good bargain is we just need to be extra wary of that today over any other day specifically. Sorry, I beg your pardon, tomorrow. So that's really the word of caution.
All right, what should we be looking out for? What sort of details do we need to keep to ourselves?
Okay, sure. So I think obviously it's very critical that with any kind of incoming medium, any incoming communication is what you really need to look out for. So anything like an email, an SMS, a phone call that you don't normally get, just be extra vigilant that this, why are these people trying to engage with you? What are they looking to get out of you? I mean, the main thing around this time of year we see phishing just is exacerbated. So it happens all year round. And phishing is when they really try and get, the criminals try and get you to click on a link, go to a website or download some malware. And from there, they either compromise your personal details or redirect you to a completely fraudulent site. So it's all a really good idea to try and stick to retailers and brands that that you already trust. Rather than now's not a great time to go and explore and go to websites and brands that you don't normally shop at. So,
is there any way you can protect your laptop or your phone from being targeted?
So there are a lot of precautions. I think it's really a good idea to make sure that all your devices are kept up to date. The laptops and mobile phones, those annoying pop-ups that are continuously telling us to update. They're trying to do it to protect us. So I think it's fantastic. You need to update the devices, your browsers that you plan on doing the shopping from, making sure those are updated. Ideally, really, by now, everyone should be having some great anti-spam and sort of antivirus products that are installed in the endpoint. But, unfortunately, the technology only goes so far to protect us. So it's really that kind of element of paranoia that we need to have about us and just be very cautious with anything we collect and anything we click and any information we give.
And if you suspect a link of being fraudulent or a bit dodgy, other than avoid it, what can you do? Can you pass this information on to somebody who can sort it out?
It's a lot trickier when you're working from home. In a traditional corporate, there'll be an administration group that you could pass it to and go and ask them to evaluate, and they're normally quite keen to do that. Otherwise, you can always send it to, for example, if it's a banking link or a website, you could send it to them just to say, look, I just want to confirm that this is in fact a legitimate link that you guys are hosting. But as you mentioned, the right thing is really just to avoid clicking it and definitely don't send it, avoid sending it to other people, because you may inadvertently have them click on the link and have them be the victim in the scenario.
And Paul, what happens if you have been targeted, if you have been compromised? What can you do to protect yourself then?
Yeah, look, I think it's a myriad of things. The main thing is to try and change your passwords immediately if you can. If you suspect your banking accounts have been compromised, is to obviously speak to your bank. I mean, most banks have the ability to go online and immediately freeze the accounts just until you can get them to investigate what's going on. So it's really around just locking out the potential criminals as quickly as possible. But I think the first call would definitely be the bank, just to freeze the bank accounts to make sure that nothing further can transpire there. That's why we always encourage users to make sure that they have as many varied passwords and as complicated as possible. So if one particular site gets your one username or password, they can't use that across all your different accounts. So
and say you've purchased something that doesn't really exist. Is there any chance of getting that money back?
Unfortunately, no. There are cases where you can report it to the Ombudsman and you can try and get some assistance through there. But unfortunately, most of these cases, because you willingly gave the money to the individual and they didn't take it from you, there's not much avenue for recourse.
So be careful, be careful. Paul Grapendaal, thank you very much for that.